Ah, bollocks.
Alright guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. I hope you've all had a decent week. I have been mega busy at work, as seems to be the case, but I shouldn't complain because the thing about when you're mega busy, it does make for a quick week, and it also makes you look forward to the weekend. What have I been doing this week? Well, I've not been making Raspberry Pi videos. I've just been tinkering with the Pi, getting it's one of these things. It's, what's the word for it? It's not a living thing. There's a phrase and I cannot for the life of me think what it is. It's one of these things that's constantly evolving. You know, you get this of the basics put together, but then the more you tinker with it, you start to see things and you change things. I mean, I've actually just placed an order for some side art and a little marquee, which is the wee kind of bit that goes across the top. And I'm not going to tell you how much it is, but suffice to say that the side art is actually the most expensive part of this whole thing, including the pie and everything else. But you know what, I think it's going to finish it off really nice. And it's I'm quite proud of the wee project, so I think to get it finished off just nicely is well worth it. So I've ordered that today. I'm getting the side art. I'm also going to get, I don't know if you can see that, this thing up here, the Robotron marquee. That's just printed off. I've got a dog wanting in. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. I've just been invaded by two smelly dogs. What was I talking about? It's one of these things that it's, as I says, you know, the more you can, you're always looking for ways to improve it. And like I said, I've splashed out on this side art, but I think it's going to finish it off. So I'm not going to tell you what I'm actually getting. I won't tell you see it. Yeah, I was talking about the thing up here. That is actually just a piece of paper, printed it in A4 paper. So I've ordered a proper Robotron one for that as well. So yeah, that's been that. Raspberry Pi. Gaming wise, I've got back to playing The Last of Us on the PS4. I have completed it. I completed it a couple of years ago actually on the PS3. But I've been kind of working my way through it with Ava. She's been just kind of watching it. She kind of likes to play it when there's no sign of any zombies or clickers or whatever. You know, the minute there's any danger at all, she tends to kind of throw the joypad back to me to continue. So we've been playing that, and we've completed it, and we're now there was like downloadable content, which is it came included on the PS4 disc. Is it Left Behind? I think it's called. And I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I've got to say, I mean, the game itself, it's about the only game that I've played where you really get drawn in to the sort of characters. I mean, I was going to say, what's it, Bioshock, you kind of get, you know, you get kind of drawn into the characters, you've got the wee girl and that kind of stuff, but you know, The Last of Us, it's just a phenomenal game. I mean, I was going to say it's an interactive movie. I mean, I suppose that's what it would have been classed as years ago, but it's a phenomenal game. I realise visually wise it's astonishing. I can't say I really notice any big difference between the PS3 and the PS4. I'd probably need to see them side by side to kind of decide whether they're, you know, to actually see any difference. But with this current generation, it's all about the little details, you know, the grass, the trees, reflections, lighting, that kind of stuff. But it's an amazing atmospheric game, and it's the kind of game that you'll probably remember in years to come. You'll not even think about it as being a game, you'll remember it as being a film or something, because it really draws you in. It's emotionally, it's a strong game, you know. It's fantastic. If you've never played it, go and check it out. It says get the PS3 one and you'll probably get it for like 50 pence, and like I say, graphically wise it's not much different from the PS4. So been playing that. What else have I been playing? Oh yeah, Doom. I think I showed you that last week. I'm about, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours into it, not that much, but It's amazing, it really is. I've been using, I've got a wee kind of surround sound system in this room, so I've been playing that when, you know, my wife's not in her bed, and been using the headphones. I mean, it's an incredible atmospheric game. You know, you'll absolutely shit yourself when you're playing it, you know, the sound effects, it's just awesome. If you've not got Doom, I would suggest you go and check it out. I also bought, what did I buy? I come here, you can probably tell I am, whoa, whoops, sorry Jax, I just dropped a little joypad in his head, sorry about that son. You can probably tell I'm growing a beard. It seems to be quite fashionable, but I'm the type of person, I've had goatees and that over the years, so I've also shaved my head for the last 16 years. I'm not actually bald, it's just I choose to kind of shave my head. And my wife had said to me, why didn't you try growing your hair? So I'm going to give it a go. The only thing I don't like about my beard and my hair is I'm very grey, as you can probably tell. But you know what, George Clooney gets away with it, and so does Philip Schofield. So why can't I? I'll give it a go, see how I go on with it. Pickups. I got that Uncharted collection. I got that last week. I think I got it for 20 quid. It's supposedly kind of like remastered. It's the first 3 games. Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves and Drake's Deception. I've been told it's you've got to play that before you buy the latest one. I do know from reading reviews that the latest Uncharted is meant to be just astonishing. My mate's got it and he's saying that the actual, you know, the graphics, he says it is the most realistic game he has ever seen. So if I ever get round to completing these 3, which will probably be a while, I mean I'm almost finished. I've finished Last of Us, I've just got the what do you call it, the sort of downloadable content thing to finish. Once I've done that, I'm going to make a start in the first one of that. So that's my pickups. Right, I don't have a huge deal to talk about, which seems to be all too commonplace. Now, anybody that knows their video game history will be aware of Nolan Bushnell. He was the founder of Atari. He was also credited with creating the first ever video game, which was Pong. He got it put out there, and you know, the guy's a legend. Now, I have a Twitter account which I'll be honest with you, I don't really understand Twitter. I know roughly what it's about, you know, if you want to get, you tweet, which all your followers can see and then they can tweet and whatever, but it's not something I use other than I've got a thing automatically set up in YouTube. When I put up a video, it automatically tweets on Twitter, and people hopefully get to see that I've got a new video out. Now I also get an email anytime somebody follows me, and like I said, because I don't use Twitter for anything other than the automatic tweets, I really don't pay much attention to it, but I got an email about 3-4 days ago which caught my eye, and it is Nolan Bushnell is following you. So I quickly logged into Twitter, went into Nolan Bushnell, and sure enough it's the main man, it's the main guy. He's got something like 100,000 followers, whatever it is. He is also following, I think it's about 30,000 people, and I am one of them. Now, that's just absolutely mental. I keep going on about just how wonderful, you know, social media is. I mean, I was talking about the guys that wrote, one of the authors that wrote the Formula 1 game in the Spectrum got in touch with me. That in itself just blew me for 6. But having Nolan Bushnell following me on Twitter, it obviously means that he has seen a tweet of mine, obviously maybe retweeted by somebody else, and he has actually gone in and looked at one of my videos. Now the fact that he is following me means that he's obviously watched a video and thought, oh, alright, I'll see what this guy's up to. The fact that the founder of the video game industry and the creator of Atari is following me is just mental. I'm kind of half tempted just to ping him a message on Twitter and ask him if he would be up for a chat. that would be the big one. It really would. It's quite funny because I was telling a couple of my mates, I was desperate to tell somebody. I mean, if I told my wife that Nolan Bushnell was following me on Twitter, she wouldn't have a clue. It wouldn't mean anything to her at all. So I told my two mates, whatever day it was, Tuesday morning, and they're like, oh yeah, and I was going on about it, and I says, I take it you know who Nolan Bushnell is? They went, no. And I says, he created Atari and Pong. All right, okay. And I thought, that doesn't mean anything to you at all, does it? And they went, no. So yeah, I was disappointed. I was wanting to rush out and tell the world that Nolan Bushnell is following me on Twitter. So aye, I might, this is ping on message, if you don't ask, you know, so. Right, one thing I've noticed in the last probably couple of months, I mean I don't watch that many other YouTube videos, and it's not because I don't want to, it just comes down to lack of time. I mean, finding time to even make videos right now can be quite tough when you've got other stuff going on. But a few of the guys, I mean I'm going to name names, Amiga Old School, Adam, Monkey Spaz, Swifto. These are guys I always enjoy watching their videos, and I notice there appears to be a sort of lack of videos getting put out with these people. I suppose it's like anything, you know, if you don't have the time to make content, then you're not going to do it. And also, if you don't have anything to talk about, then you're not going to do it. I mean, I'm certainly really aware, even right now when I'm talking to you here, I kind of feel I'm just making stuff up. I really do feel I'm struggling on the waffle front, to the point it's kind of got me, it's kind of got me thinking, should I have a holiday from, you know, the Friday Waffle? Thing is, I really do enjoy making the Friday Waffle, but it's tough when you don't have anything to talk about. What I will ask you to do, guys, is please give me something to talk about. Give me some topics to talk about, because as I says, I kind of, when you've been making these for, I've been making the waffle now for probably the best part of a year and a half, which would be one a week, so that'd be 52. I reckon I've probably done about 70 odd Friday Waffles. In fact, you know what? I'll tell you exactly how many Friday Waffles I've done. Let's have a look. Come on, what's going on here? Right, okay, let's... Mamemeister. It's going very slow tonight. Mamemeister. Where are we? Friday Waffles. Friday Waffles. There we... Wow! I can't believe it. This, believe it or not, this is the 100th. Ah, you know what? There you go. I didn't even know that. This is the 100th Friday Waffle. That's astonishing. That is quite remarkable. Now, I used to usually try and get them to about half an hour, so even a lot of them were well over half an hour. These were always the shorter ones, so even based on half an hour each, 100 times half an hour, that's 50 hours of me talking shite, which is 50 hours, that's over 2 days. That is me talking non-stop for 2 days without taking a break. So, you know, that takes up, you need a lot of content to keep something like that going. And I do find myself, because I don't talk about really modern stuff, I mean, I am very much kind of stuck in the old systems. Because I don't talk about modern stuff, you know, I'm constantly just having to kind of go back and think about stuff from, you know, days gone by. But like I says, guys, please give me topics to talk about. It doesn't matter how pointless or, you know, irrelevant it seems. Please give me questions, because it is getting to the stage now where I'm really struggling even to try and get a video over 20 minutes. When you don't have anything to talk about, it's damned difficult. So please, guys, please put down anything at all, gaming related, anything. Stick it down. I really beg you to give me some questions to keep this Friday Waffle going, because right now I am struggling majorly with content, and it's going to get to a point where I would rather wrap it up for a while than seem quite desperate. I mean, I must admit the last few waffles I've put out, I don't think they've been particularly good, not particularly entertaining. Now, I can see the views has definitely got lower. So I don't know. Possibly the Friday Waffle has ran its course. Let me think. What do you think? Do you want to see this thing continue? If so, please give me content. I would certainly miss the Friday Waffle. It's probably become the thing. That and Arcade Perfect My Arse is probably the two things that this channel is most famous for. Not famous, that's the best known for. You know, if you asked any YouTuber that knows me, they would say Friday Waffle and Arcade Perfect My Arse probably. So if you want to see this feature continue, guys, please give me some content to waffle about. Now, said and done, I have got 2 questions. Mr. Down the Rabbit Hole, Kev. Thanks, Kev. Kev, he has always been fantastic at keeping me with questions, but that's only 1 question. I need more, guys. Ideally, if I could have 2 or 3 a week, that would be fantastic. So, anyway, thanks, Kev. For the Friday Waffle, hi Alan. What's your opinion on Nintendo deciding to make feature films? Can't say I was aware of that, Kev. They've just announced last week that they are entering the cinema scene, and although I think they have characters and properties that could lend themselves well to being turned into a movie, I don't think Nintendo can go toe to toe with Disney or Pixar. Excuse me, we can all try our best to forget the Bob Hoskins Mario movie of the 90s, but to use a modern example, the Ratchet and Clank movie that was just released bombed at the box office. Do you think Nintendo are wise to venture into this direction? Well, firstly, Kev, I didn't realise that Nintendo were thinking of making films. As you said, I mean, have I seen it? I think I might have seen it. I might have watched half of it. The Mario Brothers film, apparently it was awful. Another film which was based on a film was Street Fighter the movie. Now that is up there with one of the worst ever films ever. But because it's so pants, it's actually quite entertaining. The acting is diabolical. You've got Kylie Minogue, which I suppose that does help. Jean-Claude Van Damme. There's no Shakespearean actors in that lot. It was a bloody awful film. The thing is, video games generally have pretty generic plot lines. You know, your girlfriend has been kidnapped, and you've got to go in. I mean, I'm looking at this thing here just now. What's that one? Shadow Warriors or something. I mean, obviously, final fight, not Dragon's Lair, Double Dragon. Your girlfriend's been captured, and you've got to go and rescue her. It's a really, really thin plot line. There's not enough in there. Any older games, there is really no. You get a simple kind of aim. Get to such and such a thing. Shoot things along the way. There's not enough substance to video games, I don't think, to make films. Saying that, I was talking about The Last of Us. Now that is a game which you could absolutely get a film based in it. I think what makes it so good is the fact that you're actually playing the part, but the character involvement with that game is fantastic. The same with Uncharted. Obviously, the more modern games, they are cinematic. You've got script writers and that kind of stuff. So I think you could probably get away with. You could definitely get away with having films for some of these games. Not all of them. I mean, they'd probably be quite dull. But Last of Us, that's got a pretty good plot line. It's got zombies in it. You know what I mean? And there's a backstory and whatever all going on. There's a good relationship between the two main characters, and you get to kind of witness that it develops and their affection for each other grows. So it's a fantastic game, and I think you could probably get away with making that into a film. But as far as a Ratchet and Clank, or I don't know, Halo, would you get away with making Halo into a film? Unlikely. It probably would be quite a weak sci-fi. You probably find that most of the game plots have already been turned into films. You know, I mean, it's there's very few games that I think would make decent ones. I mean, could you imagine Robotron 2084? It would literally just be a guy in a room constantly shooting things. I mean, it's you've got a very basic plot with the robots trying to take over the world, and this professor's trying to rescue the last family on Earth. But you know, the film would run to about 2.5 minutes, and that would be it. So I don't think video games have got enough backstory. There's not enough substance to them to make a film. That's my opinion. I think you should really leave them well alone. It's the same with a film. I mean, there's very few films that have been turned into video games that are actually any good. I mean, RoboCop was obviously a great game. You know, Ocean very cleverly just took key points of the film and turned it into sort of little action pieces. But there's been so many games that the films are fantastic, but when it comes to making make a game, it's awful. I mean, the best example of one of the worst film tie-ins would probably be Terminator 2. Absolutely amazing film, you know, classic film from 1990, something like that, whenever it came out, 92. The computer game was bloody awful. It really was woeful. So I really think they should leave things well alone. Keep films to films, keep games to games. So yeah, I don't think they should, Kev. And thank you for your question as normal, mate. And the second question is RetroHawk14. Sorry, not 14. It says 14 hours ago. That's when you posted the comment. Sorry, RetroHawk. A wee question for this week's waffle. What do you think of the proposed C64 they have on Kickstarter and similar retro systems that are being reincarnated? And do you have any interest in buying one? Now, I think I have spoke about this already. The C64 thing did catch my eye. It's, if you've not seen it, it's not a, what's it called? It's not a Kickstarter. Is it Indigo, I think they call it? It's one of these crowdfunding things. I saw an advert or a post on Facebook, and being a C64 man, you know, immediately was drawn to it and had a watch. First thing that caught my eye was the video thing that they put out for it didn't show you anything. It was just showing you clips from games, and you know, there was no actual video footage of the console itself. So you're kind of thinking, wait a minute, I'm being asked to pay money into something which I've got no idea what it's going to be like. But they're proposing to bring out a C64. I think it's going to have extra memory, it's going to have a better graphics chip, it's going to be quicker, it's going to have a SD adapter, so all the games will just run straight off it. I think it's going to be backwards compatible, obviously, for the C64. Well, that goes without saying, it would have to be, or it wouldn't be a C64. But they're also going to bring out a handheld version of it, probably similar to the Spectrum one. Now, I don't see the purpose of these things. You're inventing something that's already been invented. You look at the Android, the things that I love, my GPDXD, your GXD, whatever it's called, 78000 or something. There's all these Android devices which run, you know, handheld wise anyway, run these emulators perfect, and they also run other systems. So that GPDXD, it'll play C64 games, it'll play Commodore Amiga games, it'll play Spectrum, Mega Drive, SNES, PC Engine, you name it. So I don't see what the appeal is of it. As far as getting the larger machine goes, I can see one bit that I suppose I can see the appeal for people is these machines, the C64s, they're old hardware, they're maybe 30 odd years old, if not more. The components, your not transistors, whatever it is, capacitors and that kind of stuff, they are going to eventually fail. So it could get to a point where, you know, getting replacements for these is going to become difficult. So to have a machine that is going to play C64 games flawlessly using SD cards and that kind of stuff is good. But the thing is it going to emulate or is it going to be actual C64 hardware? If it's just going to emulate it, then I don't see the point, because we've already got plenty of stuff that does it. Any PC, any Mac will emulate the Commodore or any other system. If you're like me and you want to play proper hardware, then you can already go out and buy a second-hand C64. In fact, you could probably buy 3 or 4 for the price of what this thing's going to cost. Using the cartridge thing that I've got for the C64, I've got all the games, it's instant loading, it supports cartridges and that kind of stuff. So my basic point is, if you're that type of person that doesn't have any original hardware, then I can see the appeal of it. But if you're like me and you've got the original hardware, I don't see what the point is, because it's already there. As far as handheld C64 goes, I've got my Android tablet, my Android handheld thing, and that does the job perfectly. One big thing that's kind of put me off, I didn't realise that, apparently, well, Kickstarter, you pledge how much you're going to put in, and then if the thing reaches the target, then your money is taken away from you, and obviously the company attempts to make whatever it is that they're going to make. Apparently, if they don't get enough money, then you don't get any money taken off you, and I think if you don't actually get anything back, you get your money back. Apparently the Indigo is opposite, you pay the money and you may not get anything for it. So right away you're taking a huge risk, and the fact that you're taking a risk in something that you can't even get to see what you're really pledging for, I wouldn't get excuse me, I wouldn't want to get involved in that. But yeah, like I said, if you don't have any original hardware and you want to sort of like, have the next best thing, then I can see the appeal of these things. But there's cheaper ways of doing that. I mean, even the wee GPD XD, I can plug it into the HDMI output and then plug it into an HDMI TV, and I can play games through the big screen as well. So you're getting the best of both worlds. Plus you've got all these other systems as well, and you probably find the hardware itself is a lot more powerful than the C64 thing. So yeah, I understand there's certain people that want them. Am I interested in them? Nah, probably not. I mean, it amazes me, the people that, when the Spectrum thing was released, and it's even like the Vega, whatever it's called, people rush out and buy these because it's got the Spectrum, it's got the wee Spectrum flash across it. It is no more Spectrum than an Android tablet. It really isn't. I mean, people said, oh, Sir Clive Sinclair is involved in the production. I don't think that was the case. The fact that it's got a Spectrum logo or a Commodore 64 logo, that is going to get a lot of fanboys rushing out there, or fangirls as well, rushing out there and pledging their money. But it's really it's not the company. It's like Atari now. You stick the Atari badge in anything and it doesn't mean a toss. It's not Atari. Atari doesn't exist at all. The name's been bought over that many times, and that's quite sad, because you stick something like Atari on a games console and you automatically think it's from a good pedigree, but that won't always be the case. So anyway, I think that is it. Yep, that is it. I keep saying it's a shorter than normal waffle. I don't know how long this one is going to last, but honestly guys, if you want to see the waffle continue, and I want to keep making it because I do enjoy it, but when I've simply got nothing to talk about, it's pretty tough. Like I said, I've done 99, this is my 100th Friday Waffle. That's a lot of hours that I've been talking pish, and I'm starting to kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel, and I think that's definitely coming across in my last few videos. So if you want to see the waffle continue, please give me something to talk about. Anything at all, preferably video game related, and I shall do my best to do that. So that's it guys. Hope you enjoyed watching this. As usual, have a nice weekend. If you have not subscribed to the channel and you want to see more content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you again to everybody that supported me. My subscriber levels is just going daft, it really is. I think these Raspberry Pi videos seem to kind of strike a chord as well. So thank you to all the support from everybody, and as usual, thanks very much for watching.